What's up, crypto fam? It's Phantom here for another market review. Bitcoin currently is pumping. I'm not sure what the news that's come out is, but we're for sure in pumping territory right now. We've gone from 39k to 41k in a matter of 15 minutes. So someone's dropping some money on Bitcoin right now. The fear and greed index, we're still in extreme fear territory. We're at 24. We've bumped up a few points. I think it's mostly because I think there's still hope in the market, and my belief is that just any slight increase in the price of Bitcoin is giving some people hope that this is the return to the bull market, which may be indicative of us not truly being in a capitulation zone and ready for a change of momentum yet. That being said, this could be what people are hoping for, and this is the start of the wave to the upside. I'm hopeful it's the latter. I've been pushing that I believe this week is going to be a good week for Bitcoin, that we've consolidated sideways for a long period of time, an annoying period of time, but don't let the strong candle on a 15-minute, hour chart, 4-hour chart fool you. We have a bunch of resistance that we have to get through, and it's going to be a fight unless the momentum's completely shifted and everyone's all in to this buy the dip territory. So, like I said, we've moved sideways for a couple of months now. I think the market's grown tired, and everybody's waiting for some type of catalyst to send us in one direction, up or down. The news that I have today is regarding the Fed. We've been talking about it on this stream for a week or so, that the Fed is going to be possibly raising interest rates. I think that's kind of expected and anticipated at this time. Tomorrow around 2 p.m. is when they should close their meeting and come out with a decision on what they plan to do with interest rates. So this would be the first interest rate hike since 2018. After raising rates by a quarter point, the central bank is expected to forecast as many as a half dozen increases for the year. Some Fed watchers say the economic outlook is so uncertain that it may not be able to raise rates as much as it would like. Fed Chair Jerome Powell could be aggressive about additional rate hikes when he discusses the need to boost rates because of spiking inflation. So what they believe is their best ammunition against the raising inflation is to raise interest rates, and they think that will stem the inflation. I don't have a lot of confidence that it will. I think there's just too many things going on in the world right now where they're going to try to pin it on one thing to correct this, and it's going to take a lot more than just raising an interest rate to stem the inflation from its continued spiking. That being said, I am looking forward to see what happens tomorrow. I'll be for sure watching the news cycle because I think we're in an extremely news-driven market right now. And I believe that that's because a lot of people are getting into investments, and I think a lot of people are using more news cycles to judge their trading as opposed to educating themselves on the product itself. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think we're in a environment where people are much easier influenced to make decisions that they would have done much more research for in the past, even though the research is easier than ever to do. Although you do have to kind of see the forest through the trees sometimes because there's so much misinformation out there. So I'm hoping over at least the next few weeks, that things calm down with this war between Russia and Ukraine. I'm hoping the Fed doesn't come out super hawkish tomorrow and try to stem the inflation by throwing a much higher interest rate than expected, because I think that would be detrimental to the market at this point in time. At least short term. Long term, I think we'd recover just fine as far as Bitcoin's concerned. But I don't think this is the solve that they think it's going to be. So the other news item that I found interesting today is Meta wants you to mint in the metaverse. In a conversation, Mark Zuckerberg announced that his company plans to introduce NFTs into Instagram in the near future. While the Meta CEO and founder didn't offer a ton of details, he characterized the integration of non-fungible tokens, NFTs, into the company's photo and video sharing app as something on the way once the Instagram team works out some of the technical challenges. We're working to bring NFTs to Instagram in the near term, Zuckerberg said in a conversation with Shark Tank's Damon. I'm not ready to announce exactly what that's going to be today, but over the next several months, the ability to bring use of NFTs in, and hopefully over time being able to mint things within that environment. The minting of the NFTs will be a big deal, because that means that they need to bring in some type of blockchain technology to perform the minting. A lot of the EFTs right now, or all the EFTs right now, are just about are through Ethereum. There's some new chains that are starting to do their own minting. I think Cardano, you can do it. Solana, you can do it. Ethereum obviously was the go-to for a lot of people, but I think this is a good thing. This is them actively exploring new technology. This is them wanting to get in the game because they know that you want to get into this type of technology early. And if big players like this are interested in NFTs, metaverse, blockchain technology, I think it's a strong sign of what's to come. I'm very, very, very happy to see companies like Facebook, like Twitter, taking NFTs seriously and taking blockchain technology seriously. That being said, I'm not chasing this candle by any means. I think it's a good move to the upside, but we have a lot of resistance to get through, like I mentioned earlier, and you don't want to go chasing candles. You want to wait for confirmations. We want to wait for the momentum to truly shift. Otherwise, you're going to be trying to catch knives, catch bullets, and it's not fruitful. Not for most traders. There's some traders that will make a killing in this volatility, but generally in these types of chop areas, the average traders get decimated. Obviously not financial advice. You do whatever you feel is best for your investment strategy, but the one that's proven well for me is going more long-term cycles based off of supply zones, resistance zones, where the demand is, where the momentum is. So I still reiterate every stream that I'm on the bullish side of this. I think we are consolidating in anticipation for a bullish move to the upside in the short term. I think once we do have this last cycle up, that we're due for a longer term corrective market. So I depending on, I guess, who comes into the game during the next bull market may shape how long we remain in that bull market. So yeah, I'll be watching the price closely. Obviously Bitcoin's right now is fighting its first resistance. You can see it keeps hitting this resistance zone right here and getting nuked back down. So there's quite a large amount of sales happening right in this red region. I'm sure there's a bunch of people shorting Bitcoin based off the trend that it's in. It can't really break this resistance zone, so I'm sure there's quite a large volume of resistance shorters just chilling in this area, just continue to nuke the price down, hoping that it will fall back to the below 40k region where they can take their profits. Altcoins I'm for sure staying away from until Bitcoin chooses its clear direction. I'm not interested in even looking at any of the charts to see what's going to be That looks interesting because, quite honestly, if Bitcoin doesn't continue to make upward movements, it's the altcoins can't hold their ground for very long. Some of them can make upside momentum changes for short periods of time, but they eventually will bow down to King Bitcoin. So I personally am waiting for a strong confirmation momentum shift. This is a great start. I have been calling that I think this is going to be a better week for Bitcoin for the past week or so. Still, I always err on the side of caution. So until clear direction is given, I'm not going to be bullish off of a 15-minute, 20 or 30 minute price change. That said, this could be the start of something stronger. So I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic, I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. I hope we have some great news events that get released tomorrow. I hope that the Powell doesn't come out hawkish and want to raise interest rates by 1,000,000 points and scare everybody to death. I'm hoping that we get positive talks between Ukraine and Russia. They're talking every day. I know that there's people over there and heading over to Europe and trying to work this through, trying to get this a resolution in place, which would be great for the world. And I hope that we see more discussions of very large companies interested in the blockchain space, the benefits it can provide, the utilities that it provides, and their interest in the space is our road to mass adoption. So I'll be looking out. I hope you all will be too. I hope this stream and this information is helpful. Definitely consider giving a follow, if you do appreciate the content. I will be back tomorrow. I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. And let's hope that the Fed doesn't hate our gains and try to rug pulls. Until then, catch you all tomorrow. Peace.